Please like, share, and subscribe. A Navy SEAL confirms a Dogman encounter, based on a true story.
I'm about to pull back the curtain on a story so classified, so mind-bending, that it will challenge everything you thought you knew. Our Navy SEAL team faced an encounter with the impossible, a nightmarish reality that was never meant to see the light of day. The truth we uncovered was buried under layers of secrecy and threats, but it refuses to stay hidden. This is the account they desperately want to keep from you. On a frigid night, our thermal imaging picked up a massive form, weaving through the trees. The cold air gnawed at our skin as our equipment hummed, with an eerie life of its own. We were trained for anything, yet nothing could have prepared us for the horror that emerged from the shadows. With hearts pounding, we stood on the precipice of a revelation that defied comprehension. The night, everything changed.
Wait, picture this. My team of 6 Navy SEALs, the most elite soldiers in the world, on what we thought was a routine reconnaissance mission in the northern range of Mount Shasta during the middle of the winter. Little did we know that this night would challenge everything we believed in.
The clock read 0230 hours when an unsettling shift in the atmosphere enveloped us. The air seemed to thicken, clinging to our skin like an invisible shroud as an unnatural silence descended upon the wilderness. The forest, usually alive with nocturnal sounds, was eerily hushed, as if holding its breath in anticipation. Our team's advanced equipment, designed to withstand the harshest conditions, began malfunctioning inexplicably. Thermal imaging flickered erratically, casting ghostly images that appeared and vanished into the darkness like specters. Night vision goggles captured movements that defied logic, too fast, too fluid for any known animal. Our team leader, let's call him Jack, signaled for us to hold our position. Years of combat had sharpened our instincts, and at that moment, every fiber of our being screamed danger. A chill ran down my spine as our comms crackled to life. Movement, 2 o'clock, 100 meters out, I whispered, my voice barely audible over the pounding of my heart. All eyes turned to the tree line, weapons at the ready, breaths held in anxious anticipation, and then, from the depths of the shadows, it emerged. It stood nearly 8 feet tall, a hulking mass of muscle and fur that seemed to absorb the moonlight, casting an ominous silhouette against the backdrop of the forest. Its face was a grotesque fusion of human and canine features, with eyes that glowed with an intelligence that was both alien and unnerving. The creature's presence exuded a raw, primal power, as if it had stepped from the pages of a nightmare. Jack's voice cut through the paralyzing grip of fear. "Engage!" he barked, and our bullets tore through the night air. Yet the creature charged as if invincible. The gunfire might as well have been a gentle breeze for all the effect it had. In a blur of motion, the beast was upon us. Bill, a veteran with multiple tours under his belt, was swiped aside like a rag doll, the sickening crunch of bones echoing through the night, followed by a scream of pure terror. Yet, our team scattered, our well-rehearsed formations crumbling in the face of an enemy that defied comprehension. We found Bill battered but still breathing, his body sprawled against a rock. We weren't going to leave him behind, no matter what. As we retreated, firing desperately over our shoulders, I caught glimpses of the creature that would haunt me for a lifetime. Its movements were too precise, too calculated for a mere animal. It anticipated our maneuvers, cutting off escape routes and herding us like prey. Oh, by some miracle, or perhaps by the creature's sick way of toying with us, we managed to reach our extraction point. As the chopper lifted off, I looked down to see the beast standing at the edge of the clearing. For a moment, our eyes locked,
and a chill ran down my spine. There was something in its gaze, a cold, primal, evil. I spat in its direction, a feeble act of defiance, mustering any courage I had left.
As the adrenaline of our escape ebbed, the true battle began, not with the creature, but with the secrets that followed. We were ushered into a stark room where men in dark suits awaited, their expressions inscrutable. The interrogation that ensued aimed to unravel every detail of our encounter. We were left with a chilling directive: this never happened. But how do you bury a truth that demands to be told?
The cover-up begins.
As our chopper descended onto the base, a foreboding chill hung in the air, more penetrating than the cold mountain winds we'd just escaped. We had encountered the unthinkable in the shadowy depths of Mount Shasta, yet the ominous reception awaiting us felt even more unsettling. Instead of the routine debriefing we anticipated, we were met by stern-faced officials in dark suits, their expressions unreadable but their intent palpable. The atmosphere was thick with an unspoken tension, as if the very air vibrated with secrets.
We were swiftly separated. Each of us ushered into isolated rooms that felt more like interrogation cells than briefing chambers. The questions came at us like a relentless barrage, each inquiry more incisive and demanding than the last. They probed for minutiae, dissecting every second of our encounter with a cold, calculated precision that suggested they knew more than they let on. Their nods betrayed an unsettling familiarity with the events we described, as if our harrowing ordeal was but another entry in a long ledger of the bizarre. They stripped us of everything: our equipment, our personal gear, even, it seemed, fragments of our recollection. When I objected, citing standard military protocol, the lead interrogator leaned in, his voice a conspiratorial whisper that sent shivers down my spine. "Standard protocol doesn't apply here, soldier. This is beyond anything you've ever dealt with." I was quickly told to shut up. My pension and family threatened. They even knew my kids' names. Presented with non-disclosure agreements, marred with dense, convoluted language, the message was unmistakable: comply or face consequences. Most of us, still reeling from the encounter and the intense, invasive questioning and threats, succumbed to the pressure and signed. But not Jake, our team's sniper and the perpetual skeptic. With steadfast resolve, he refused, insisting on our duty to report the truth. "The public has a right to know," he asserted, his voice unwavering amidst the pressure. The official's reaction was swift and unyielding. Within days, Jake had vanished, as if erased from existence. The rest of us were dispersed like leaves in the wind, reassigned to separate units across the globe, a classic divide-and-conquer strategy. Isolated, the truth became easier to suppress. Years passed, yet the memory of that night clung to me like a shadow, haunting my dreams, with cold sweats and vivid recollections of the creature's otherworldly presence. But it wasn't just the creature that tormented me. It was the relentless questions. Why the cover-up? What knowledge did they possess that eluded us? Our suspicions found validation when a leaked memo surfaced, confirming the existence of a government task force dedicated to anomalous bipedal entities. The implications were staggering. Our encounter was not an isolated anomaly, but a fragment of a larger, concealed truth. Determined, I reached out to my former teammates. We cautiously shared our discoveries, piecing together a history of encounters that spanned decades. It became clear that our mission was just one thread in a vast tapestry of similar incidents: military teams, scientists, civilians, all silenced, their experiences buried beneath layers of classified documentation. The truth lay hidden in plain sight, a whispered acknowledgement of creatures that defy explanation and government agencies shrouded in secrecy. We had inadvertently stumbled upon a world where myth and reality blurred. A realm where the lines between the known and the unknown dissolved into shadows, echoes from the past. As we grappled with the aftermath of our terrifying experience, whispers of similar encounters began to surface, painting a picture far more unsettling than we could have imagined.
Our terrifying encounter echoed stories passed down through generations. Native American legends speak of creatures that bear a striking resemblance to what we faced. These aren't just campfire tales meant to scare children. They're warnings of wolf-like humanoids that have stalked our forests long before European settlers arrived. The similarities to our team's encounter were hard to ignore. In 1887, reports emerged from Wexford County, Michigan, of a 7-foot-tall, bipedal canine-like creature with piercing amber eyes. Witnesses described a beast with a man's torso and a howl that chilled the blood. 50 years later, in 1937, a man in Paris, Michigan, found himself under attack by 5 wild dogs, one of which walked on 2 legs and towered above the others. These sightings form a pattern stretching back centuries, with reports documented across various states. The imposing height, the blend of human and canine features, the unnatural intelligence. It was as if we were looking at the same creature through the lens of different eras. But the real bombshell came in a classified report from the 1950s. It described a military team's encounter with an entity almost identical to what we faced on Mount Shasta. This wasn't just a coincidence. It was evidence of a long-standing awareness of these creatures, hidden from public view. As we dug deeper, we couldn't help but wonder, who else might know about them? And what other secrets are lurking in the shadows of our forests? The Mount Shasta mystery deepens. Mount Shasta towers over the landscape like a brooding sentinel, its majestic slopes shrouded in an eerie veil of mist and mystery. This ancient volcano is more than just a geological marvel. It's a nexus where the unexplained weaves a tapestry of fear and wonder. Here, reality seems to dance on the edge of the surreal, with UFO sightings, strange creatures, and whispers of interdimensional portals converging in a chilling symphony. But what makes Mount Shasta such a beacon for the paranormal? Some suggest that the answer lies hidden beneath its surface, in the labyrinth network of caves and tunnels carved out by volcanic activity. For those who dare to venture into this enigmatic realm, the atmosphere is palpable, thick, with an unshakable sense of foreboding. Locals and visitors alike recount chilling encounters that mirror what our SEAL team faced. Massive, wolf-like beings, walking on 2 legs and moving with unsettling intelligence, have been sighted. One hiker found himself face-to-face with a 7-foot-tall creature, its eyes aglow with an otherworldly light that pierced the night. These Dogman sightings aren't isolated incidents. They often coincide with spikes in UFO activity and reports of strange portals shimmering in the air. It's as if Mount Shasta acts as a crossroads for the weird and unexplained, a place where the boundaries of reality blur. Rumors persist of secret military installations, hidden within Mount Shasta itself. Some believe these clandestine bases conduct research into the paranormal activities clustering around the mountain. Satellite imagery has revealed enigmatic structures that defy classification, and unusual patterns of activity have been detected in remote areas, where no human presence should exist. What if the creature our team encountered wasn't merely an undiscovered species? What if it was the product of something more deliberate, something man-made? As we delve deeper into Mount Shasta's mysteries, we find ourselves grappling with more questions than answers. Is this mountain a natural wonder concealing undiscovered life? Or is it the site of experiments that stretch the limits of what we believe possible? The truth, it seems, remains hidden in the shadows of this enigmatic peak, a puzzle we are compelled to solve, but may never fully comprehend. Conclusion. What else might the authorities be hiding? How deep does this conspiracy go? And who is in control? As long as courageous individuals continue to share their encounters, we edge closer to uncovering the full story. The government's silence only fuels our determination to expose what's out there. Ultimately, Mount Shasta serves as a stark reminder. Our world is stranger than we've been led to believe. The truth is a shadow stretching long into the night, ever elusive yet increasingly impossible to ignore.